And there you have a really nice, stable footstool or foot stand or whatever it is you want to use it for. And it was made out of, if you can remember, just some timber that was hanging around the back of the yard. What I will do is I'll put the plugs in and then we'll give it a really good sand, leave the plugs in there to dry overnight. You've noticed I've drawn a design here that at some later stage we'll use that as a carving project, so you can actually put a design into the top of it. But for now, let's put the plugs in and we will just get something to put that glue in with, I think. I'm going to use a kebab stick or a shashlik stick or whatever they're called, because I don't want to squeeze glue into it. It could make a mess, whereas if we just put it on like this, just put a drip in there and a drip in there, and we will just tap these in. I would like to have the grain going in the right direction, but unfortunately I haven't got my glasses, strong glasses on, so I'm guessing it. And there you have it, all the plugs nicely in. So now these are nice and dry. Just got to take those off, get it flush, give it a good sand, and then some oil, and we'll see how she comes up. Several ways you can do it, as I said before. This is a flush saw, and as you can tell, it can saw flush to your job. This is a French version of the same thing, so there's no kerf on the outside and you can just saw off like that. The other way you could do it would be with a chisel and give it a knock. What I've found to be the easiest way is just a block plane. The reason I wouldn't use a chisel on this is I can't quite see which way the grain's going and the ebony is pretty tough. And because it's not very deep, if I hit it with a chisel, I can run the risk of tearing out part of the plug from the top of the job. So block plane it is. Finally set, and we just plane off the top until we get down to the lid or the top of the stool. It doesn't take that long. As I said, this ebony is pretty tough, but we're almost there now. And there we go. We're down nice and flush. So we'll just do it to the rest of them and we will be good to go. The other thing you could do, if you don't have a plane or a flush saw or anything like that, you could sand it off with a belt sander, but be very, very careful, because if you get too close to the top, you're going to mar the timber. So for me, the best way is the block plane. Next thing is I'm just going to even it all out, then we'll sand it. But before we sand it, these pencil marks I've put on because I thought I might do some carving, and the pencil lines I've got here to mark out where the drill holes went. Take them off first with an eraser. Don't try and sand them off, because if you try and sand pencil what you actually do is force the graphite deeper into the grains of the timber, and then you end up getting undulations there because you're trying to sand the pencil out and you're actually pushing it in deeper and deeper. This design, I still want to carve that, but for the time being, I'm going to take it off so we can oil it, and then we can carve it later on if we want to, or if there's sufficient interest in doing a carving project. Plane up there, make sure it's nice and flush. And just going to knock an arrow off the corner there, which you could do with sandpaper easy enough. But if you've got the plane in your hand, you might as well use the plane. Same on the other side. Remembering to go with the grain so you don't get tear out. And blackwood is pretty notorious for tear out. On the ends too. All right, now we'll give it a sand and we'll put some oil on it and it'll be good to go. I'll start with 100 grit. Once you've gone over it with 100 grit, all you're going through now is the grades to take away the scratches left by the sandpaper before. So this is nice and smooth now, but it's got 100 grit marks in it. So I'm going to go up to 150, 180, 240, and then we'll put some oil on it. Okay, that's it, 240. Rub your hands over it. If you find a couple of spots where the sander couldn't go in, just get a bit of 240 and just take any sharpness off that you might feel there. Okay, now that's all done, let's put some oil on and we'll see how good it looks. What I'm using is tung oil, only because it's a lot thicker and it'll go on and I need less coats. A lot of times I would use Danish oil, and that requires a lot of coats because it's very, very thin. But we'll put some tung oil on and we'll just watch the colours pop. And I'm pleased to say those buttons don't blend in with the timber that I'm using. You can see they're quite pronounced there. The reason I like using steel wool is it actually abrades the timber and very gently cuts into it, that allows the oil to go in deeper. Normally tung oil is clear when it comes out of the can, but I've had that can for quite some time and obviously some wood shavings have got into it, which has discoloured it a little bit, but when it goes on it's clear and that's what we're looking for. As you can tell, I've been pretty liberal with the oil. In an hour or so I'll take off any excess residue of the oil, let it harden overnight, then I'll put a nice polish on it. This one's Libron Black Bison and it's a dark colour, so that'll go really well with the blackwood. That's it. And you've got a lovely little footstool, or a stool for the workshop, or a little table if you've got kids on the ground, or yourself if you want to sit on the ground and have a game of cards or something or other. It's a little table. But I think you'll agree that what we have now compared to what it was a few hours ago is something quite special and quite unique. So I guess the object was not only to share with you a project that you can make, but also make you aware that horrible grey looking bits of timber that's lying around someone's backyard has value, and with a bit of time and a bit of effort and a little bit of experience, you can pick up what could be an absolute bargain. So until then, and we meet again, thank you for your interest, your watching. If you've got any questions or you'd like more projects in the future, please fill in the comments below or contact Carbotech if you like, or you can email me directly at woodworkingmasterclass@gmail.com or admin@woodworkingmasterclass.com.au. In the meantime, stay creative, stay positive, and enjoy whatever it is you're doing. And I look forward to meeting again very, very soon. Bye for now.